Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And you know, it's an exciting day because it's the day before I wind up for, the first legislative session. Now, I've been to a couple of hearings of study committees as an official lobbyist, but tomorrow will be the first time that I actually go to, multiple hearings on one day of the New Hampshire legislature as an actual paid lobbyist. You can find out more about my lobbying work at libertylobby.info. And yes, you can contribute. I'm not a for-hire lobbyist. I am a crowd-funded lobbyist for liberty. So I'll be advocating for maximum freedom, minimal government. And there are several bills tomorrow. I've actually been, for part of the morning, going through the bills, writing down notes of various things that I need to mention to the committees about some of these bills, and I'll be up there again on Wednesday. Now, I mentioned last week that because I will be at the State House on Wednesday, I'll still get you the Ask Me Anything. I'm probably going to wind up recording that tomorrow evening, although, again, I've not quite decided exactly when I'm getting that recorded, but you'll still get it on Wednesday. Now, let's jump into the news, or not news, but the article that I have here. And this is probably going to wind up taking the rest of the show, this one article. And, I tend to do that, right? Like, I'll start going through the article, and then I go off on side thoughts and tangents off of the tangent, and then eventually wind up somehow getting back on track of the article. And this is another list, and it's a longer list. So, a lot of times the 5 or 10 item lists take me an entire show. I know that one with 31 items is definitely going to take the entire show. And what are these 31 things? Well, the title is 31 Magic Tricks. Now, none of these are magic, but they are, tricks of sorts that can simplify your life. The author begins, how many times has life overwhelmed you? It's okay. It happens to everyone. The world moves at breathtaking speed. You have 100 times the choices and 10 times the work. Blink your eyes and everything has changed. Where do you start and when does it end? Take a breath. Relax. You have permission. You don't have to drop out or quit to simplify. More importantly, you don't have to sacrifice your sanity and life's simple pleasures to get what you want. All you need are these 31 tricks. Number 1 on their list is choose to be happy. And I've talked before about how English is a horrible language, and I'm glad that other people agree with me. Dr. Brian Sovereign of Sovereign Tech mentions this frequently. And I think that, we came to this conclusion independent of one another because I'd been saying it before I ever heard him say it, and I'm fairly certain he said it before he ever heard me say it. But what exactly does it mean to be happy? Well, the dictionary definition of happy is feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. Well, let's see what they actually say here. They say at a young age we're taught that there are winners and losers. Life becomes a game to earn the most points, often measured in dollars and trinkets. Along the way, we lose our soul. I'm not saying don't set goals, just the opposite. It's the why that's important. Goals should be born from your passion and the desire to grow and learn, not to achieve trophies for self-validation. This requires a decision to be happy, to live in the now. In other words, be grateful. Now, they say you should be grateful, and they conflate that with happy. Well, the dictionary defines grateful as feeling or showing appreciation. Now, one can be appreciative of what they have without showing pleasure. And again, these are two completely different words for, very good, valid reasons. So what they're saying here is be grateful for what you have. Now, that doesn't mean don't strive for more, but just be grateful. Again, not exactly the same as happy. Jumping down to number 2 on the list, they say change your mindset. Mindset expert Carol Dweck, and I didn't know there actually was such a thing as a mindset expert, but apparently Carol Dweck is one. She's the author of a book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. She explains that people have either a fixed or a growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset need constant validation. They see success, talent, and fate as predetermined by genetics or your last name. Those with a growth mindset see challenges in the world as opportunities to learn and grow. They understand that no one is perfect and that the process and failures along the way create growth, fulfillment, and achievement. If you want to simplify, embrace the growth mindset and release the baggage of everything else. So again, they're not saying don't set goals, just the opposite. Set your goals, but don't use the I achieved my goal, now people validate me. But you should, set the goal and try to reach the goal for your own personal benefit to learn and grow, not to necessarily receive validation. Number 3, and this is one that is kind of interesting, and it's a different take on something that I often say. They say, imagine that today is the last day on Earth. I always say, don't worry about the future because there's not future, there's only now. But they say, imagine the world is about to end. What would you do? And who would you do it with? Would you quit your job? Would you kiss the girl or boy? Spend the rest of your day with your family? Or would you reflect on the time that you've squandered and allow that? Or would your reflection on the time that you've squandered paralyze you? And, I'm sure you could work that sentence several different ways and you understand the meaning. Life is too short to waste being miserable. Decide what's important and let go of the rest. There is more, and we'll get to it here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, this is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've been working with computer programmer Derek Slopey to create Fiend Phone. I'm using Fiend Phone right now to talk with and record one of my co-hosts in real time. Take it, Davi.
Hey, this is Davi Barker, and I'm 1,000 miles away from Michael, but we sound like we're in the same room.
We sure do, Davi. So, Davi, please tell the nice people more about Fiend Phone.
Fiend Phone is free, open-source software that opens up a global world of possibilities for collaborative, high-quality remote voice media production, and I'm digging it.
People can try the Windows beta version of Fiend Phone right now at fiendphone.com. But we're also raising money to vastly improve Fiend Phone and vastly improve independent talk media worldwide.
So go to fiendphone.com to help out. Who will build the audio roads? We will, with your help.
That's fiendphone.com. FEENPHONE.com. Foxtrot, Echo, Echo, November, phone.com.
Fiend Phone. I never knew remote audio could be this good.
This is Paige Peterson from Made Safe, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Before I continue with the list of 31 tricks to simplify your life, and we've only gotten through 3. But before I continue, I want to make sure that I let you know about a website that you need to definitely bookmark, especially if you use Bitcoin. And I'm hoping that you do because, well, Bitcoin's that decentralized, pseudo-anonymous cryptocurrency that allows you to quickly and easily send money around the world. And, well, you can also buy stuff with it. And, well, there's a website that helps you find products you can buy Actually, it helps you find millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants, and that is Spend a Bit. Again, it's the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. It helps you keep your money in the free economy. Spend a bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. That's spendabit, all one word, spendabit.fppradio.com. And if you're a Bitcoin accepting merchant, ask about their merchant suite to reach even more customers. spendabit.fppradio.com. Item number 4 on the list of 31 tricks to simplify your life: forgive. Choose to be a victim or forge your own destiny. Those are the choices. People may inflict harm, but forgive them anyway. While you're at it, forgive yourself. And this is the thing that I definitely struggle with, and I know a lot of other people do as well, and that is forgiving yourself. Now, there are a lot of people that, refuse to or struggle with forgiving themselves, that they'll forgive, other people hundreds of times, dozens, hundreds, hell, maybe even thousands of times. I don't know, but they, refuse to or struggle with forgiving themselves. Don't let the baggage of what other people have done keep you down. You can't change past events, but you can change your reaction. You can't change current events, but you can change your reaction to the events. It's the sum of your reaction that determines the course of your life. Think about what you would do if you lost everything. That's number 5. Imagine you're in a building, a tower right after a plane hits. The lights go out, the room turns black, soot fills your lungs. You're halfway down the stairs when the stairwell buckles from the collapse of the tower next door. You survive, but just barely. You escape with your life and nothing else. Your job is gone, and so are your friends and coworkers. They say that's the story of what happened to thousands of people on 9/11, and the lessons you can learn from them are many. The simple truth is that life is what matters. No one can take away what's in your mind, the experiences you've had, or the wisdom you've gained. Everything else is just window dressing. Now, you don't have to think about the extreme of, how would I respond if I were in one of the towers on 9/11? But let's just say that you wake up tomorrow and you wind up going to work and the boss says, sorry, you're fired. You go back home and for whatever reason, there's an eviction notice on your door. And all you're left with is, basically whatever is in your car. And, well, let's just, in this scenario, imagine that you parked by a fire hydrant and the cop comes by and he's like, yep, don't care. Don't care that you were only out of your car for 2 minutes. Nope, we're towing it. And you're left with nothing. What would you do? And it's not something that, I necessarily expect an answer from, because I honestly don't know what I would do, but it's something to think about of what would you do if everything wound up being taken away. Number 6, they say reflect on those who have nothing. And I find it really interesting. And I think they did this for, the mental image that you have in your head after number 5 of what would you do if you had nothing, and then reflect on those who have nothing. Millions of people lack the basics most of us take for granted, things like running water and a bed. If you're reading this article or listening to this podcast, chances are you're not one of those people, so what right do you have to complain? And see, I don't like that they worded it that way, because this belittles the human experience. It's akin to saying, well, somebody has it worse, so therefore you can't ever feel bad. Well, somebody also always has it better, so should you never be grateful? And when people do things like this, again, they belittle the human experience and they invalidate perfectly valid emotions. But getting back to what they have written, they say if you want to simplify your life, strip down what's dragging you down. You don't have to worry about what you don't have. Quit keeping up Quit keeping up appearances and complicating your life with unnecessary stuff and stress that goes along with it. Let it go. Focus on what you really want, not what other people expect you to have. Now, the interesting thing here is they don't necessarily go where I thought they were going to go with the subtitle of Reflect on Those Who Have Nothing. I thought they were going to say, and then help them. Not just think about, oh yeah, somebody's got it worse than me, I can't be sad. No, somebody does have it worse off than you, and if you're in a position to help, then do so. There have been stories over the last few days of Food Not Bombs volunteers being arrested in Tampa, Florida for feeding homeless people. Now, the claim is they didn't have a permit, and they didn't have insurance, and they didn't have this license. So government agents came in and arrested people for trying to help out other people. And there was one of the homeless individuals that was arrested for taking a bagel or donut off of the table after the workers had been arrested and moved from the table. And one of them just hollered out, "Take what's left." And so one of the guys that was hungry walked over and grabbed something off of the table. He wound up getting arrested. So don't just reflect on people that have it worse than you. If you're able to help them, help them. There is more, and I'm really going to have to speed up going through this list of 31 tricks to simplify your life here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. And as always, this link will be in the show notes. Stay tuned. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Going to try to power through this article. Again, 31 items. I'm on number 7, or I've gotten through number 6, starting number 7 here, of tricks to simplify your life. Rediscover your childhood dreams. The author here says, as a teacher, I hate when other parents, coaches, and teachers tell students to be realistic. Will Smith said, being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Yet many of us believe the sick, twisted lie that we should be realistic. We're told to set achievable goals so that we don't set ourselves up for failure. The irony is that it's the failures that teach us what is required to live a fulfilled life. Dropping down here, it says it's true that you won't always achieve your ultimate dreams, but it's not about the dream, it's about the ride. It's about the journey. The one thing that is true is that you're guaranteed to fail if you never try. Don't listen to those who've given up on their dreams. Don't waste your time cluttering up your life with other people's expectations. Discover your passion, stay the course, and I promise you won't live a life of regret. Discover who adds value to your life. It's been said you become like the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you spend time with people who tear you down, you'll be torn down. Choose wisely and let go of the dead weight. Number 9, change your inputs. Stress, misery, confusion, indecision, and frustration are perceptions reinforced by thought. Strong evidence supports the belief that those perceptions are reversible if you change the words you tell yourself. And this is something that I've mentioned before where I forget exactly who it was that said it, but they said that you should wind up putting motivational, happy thoughts on the sticky notes, putting those on your bathroom mirror so that when you go into the bathroom, instead of tearing yourself down early in the morning, you're lifting yourself up. Number 10, reflect daily. Take stock of your day and reflect on your accomplishments. Write them down. Write down what went wrong, when time was wasted, and which irrelevant task kept you busy instead of effective. Number 11, exercise. You don't have to spend hours at the gym to benefit from the mental clarity and rush of endorphins that come from physical exertion. Spend between 5 to 15 minutes a day in your home or outside to boost your energy levels, improve your overall health, and allow your mind to, or rather, the chance to decompress. Number 12, unplug. That seems pretty self-evident there, right? So just, get away from electronics for a little bit. Number 13, meditate. And, what better time to meditate than when you're away from electronics, right? And we've talked about some of the benefits of meditation on this show previously. Just look through the old episodes. You can find those. Quick handy link for the RSS for Peace, Love, Liberty Radio is PLL, as in Peace, Love, Liberty, PLL.fppradio.com. That will take you to the RSS feed for Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. You can easily scan through the old show notes. Number 14, and this is something I don't do, take a nap. They say between 15 to 25 minutes a day, maybe all you need to get back on your A game and regroup midway. A little bit more written there, but skipping down, get enough sleep. And we've talked about the benefits of sleep before and how people that only get 4 hours of sleep think that they're performing better than they actually are, when in point of fact, they do about is the same results as people who have had no sleep for about 2 days, although the difference is the people with no sleep acknowledge that they are not performing very well on the task. Number 16, and again, something that I don't do nearly enough, take time off. They actually say take a few weeks. Great epiphanies in life will often come when you've removed yourself from the day-to-day clutter and routine. It's also a great way to enjoy life and recuperate from life's demands. A few innovative companies are catching on and reaping the rewards. Take advantage of the time you have and don't be afraid to ask for it. Number 17, make a bucket list. This, another self-explanatory item on the list. Number 18, pretend to go on a vacation. You don't actually have to take a vacation to benefit from one. Just think about what you would do if and when you have the time. If the things you would do can be done where you live, start doing them. Save time normally wasted on meaningless tasks and use it to do what's important. Pretend that you have only 5 minutes to prepare. If you truly want to declutter your life, imagine you only have 5 minutes to pack. Now imagine the vacation is permanent. You'll quickly realize that most of the stuff in your life are things you don't need. If you want more suggestions, they recommend reading the 4-Hour Workweek. Number 20 on the list, simplify your calendar. If your to-do list never ends and keeps getting longer, it's time to put your items on a calendar. Scheduling may seem like the opposite of simplifying, but when done properly, it actually makes you feel less overwhelmed and increases your effectiveness. Evidence shows only 11% of people complete their to-do list. When you put items on a calendar, you commit to completing it, but you also have a clearer perspective of the time available and enhanced judgment of what can be completed in a given day. There are 11 more things on this list that we will try to get through here in the closing moments of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, episode 410.
Why do they hate us? Is libertarianism compatible with Islam? Davi Barker answers these questions and more in Voluntary Islam and Other Essays. He advances the voluntarist cause with analysis of the confluence of values between Islam and libertarianism, as well as contemporary movements from the Tea Party to the Arab Spring. Voluntary Islam by Davi Barker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Item number 21 on the list of 31 tricks to simplify your life. And as always, the link will be in the show notes. You can read it at your leisure. Number 21, schedule buffers. Create buffers during your day to regroup and decompress. Schedule them on a calendar and be religious about avoiding appointments and other work during that time. It will improve your focus. 22, organize. And this, fits in with number 19, which is pretend that you have only 5 minutes to prepare for a permanent vacation. 23, simplify your life. Also fits right in. Skipping the paragraphs that they have here. Number 24, be flexible. A master document may sound rigid, but it is actually easy to change. In life, if you're stubborn, you create unnecessary headaches for yourself. Be willing to go with the flow when things take an unexpected direction and listen to different opinions. You don't always have to agree, but if you refuse to move, it will only be a matter of time before your life's branches break. Simplify your errands. And then they give some advice there. Number 26, supercharge your focus. Quit wasting time on the 80% of things that have minimal impact on moving you forward. This requires you first take an inventory of your time. Give yourself the slight edge. Think like the tortoise instead of the hare. If you produce small but consistent action towards your goals, your progress will be more than the person who gets excited, overworks, and burns out. Use the Pomodoro technique, and this is not something that I've ever done, but I have heard people talk about it. Again, the info will be in the link in the show notes. 29, they say, learn to say no. Don't spend time doing things that you don't want to do. Learn the art of saying no and allow yourself the opportunity to say yes to the things that truly matter. Simplify your priorities and simplify your goals. Items number 30 and 31. And I'm going to focus on number 29 for just a moment. If you've ever seen the movie Yes Man, and it's been out for a while, so I don't feel like I'm giving away a spoiler. Jim Carrey's character winds up making a covenant with himself to say yes to everything, and he doesn't realize that it's just supposed to open him up to learning when to say yes and when to say no. As always, link will be in the show notes, and every Wednesday I answer your questions, AMA at fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.